We're going to review the expectations and policies for our building regarding our transgender students. According to the American Psychological Association, transgender is an umbrella term that incorporates differences in gender identity wherein one's assigned biological sex does not match their felt identity. Sex and gender are different concepts. Sex refers to a complex combination of psychological characteristics, chromosomes, hormones, and anatomy, where gender is one's internal sense of identity. So these could be different identities for different students. Here are some terms that you should be familiar with and use appropriately and correctly in your classes. It is okay to use these terms. These terms should be used and then also taught to students so students use them correctly in our classes. Allies, individuals who don't identify as LGBTQ, but we support them and advocate for them. Asexual, people who do not identify as being attracted to either sex. Bisexual, or individuals who are attracted to both sexes. Gender expansive is a term that is getting a little more attention and being used more frequently. These are individuals who are gender expansive. They believe that there's a wider spectrum of gender identities than simply just male and female. Queer, once carrying a negative connotation, now many youth, LGBTQ youth, have reappropriated the word to refer to the LGBT community as a whole. Questioning are individuals who are exploring their sexual identity. They haven't decided and they're unsure. Transgender, individuals who are people who don't identify with the sex that they were assigned at birth. And transition happens when an LGBT individual takes steps legally, medically, and socially to affirm their gender identity. So this might mean changing their name or seeking gender reassignment surgeries. So again, all these terms are terms that you should be familiar with and help our students to also use correctly. There are several laws and policies that do protect our students, our LGBTQ population, from discrimination in our schools. Title IX bans federally funded schools from discriminating against LGBTQ people. This discrimination based on gender identity is unlawful in all 50 states. The Equal Access Act stipulates that public schools with non-curricular clubs must also allow students to create a gay-straight alliance club. And the First Amendment protects LGBTQ students' rights to express their gender identities and sexual preferences at all the events, as long as they comply with the rules and regulations that apply for all students. And also FERPA applies here, and we'll talk about that here in just a moment when we address pronouns and names. But we need to be very aware and cautious about using the wrong name or the wrong pronoun, as it could release student identity information that others in their class might not be aware of. Our school does use gender support plans. This is a collaborative document that is proactive. So when we find out that a student is transgender, we sit down with the students and their families and administrators and our nurse, and we set a plan for use of bathrooms, locker rooms, and other issues the student might face and help them to have a plan so that they feel comfortable moving through their schedule and their day in our building. For our building, bathrooms and locker rooms, students reserve the right to use a bathroom that is associated with their gender identity. However, some students will prefer to use the nurse's bathroom because they prefer to have a private bathroom, but they are given the opportunity and the right to be in the bathroom that is associated with their gender. Please, when starting your year, you will be contacted by one of the associate principals with information regarding students on your roster, on their pronouns and their specific name that they prefer to go by. However, we encourage you to ask this as the year starts. Do a Google form or note cards, wherever you ask for that student information and things about the student, ask for that preferred pronoun at that time as well. Avoid using gender-specific language in class, such as ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, trying to use things that are more names and terminology that is more inclusive. Students do have the right to be addressed by the pronoun of their choice, and that should be respected and used. Legal documents will require their legal names, such as in their Skyward accounts and their Zello accounts. Sometimes those things cannot be changed unless they legally change their name. So we have to be very aware and vigilant of slipping up and making a mistake by releasing information that might be protected under FERPA. Now, their unofficial school documents will be able to accommodate their gender identity. So please be aware of student preferences and protect their identities in your classroom. If they are uncomfortable with Zello having their dead name there, then please know that they are excused from that program until the program can get the name changed or updated. Students reserve the right to dress according to their gender identity. So without drawing extra attention to students, without giving them any type of discrimination for this, we need to just accept students and be flexible and accept them for who they are and how they are dressed. 61.6% of LGBTQ students who took part in a recent GLSEN report stated that school staff did not respond to the reports of their LGBTQ related harassment or assault. So we need to be very vigilant in our hallways and in our classrooms to make sure that we are listening and hearing what's happening so that we can report. So responding to harassment, number one, trust student reports. If a student reports they've been harassed or assaulted, you need to trust that report. Please inform administration immediately. Listen to your students and then intervene where needed and necessary. So hopefully this will help us to start the year off in a positive learning environment for all students as they walk through our halls next week.